This week, we're going to talk about dividends every strokers again. These are stocks that have been giving increasing dividends for the past 25 years. That is a quarter of a century. Now, if we look at dividends every strokers, just a very quick recap, especially for those who are joining us for the first time, they have been beating the S&P 500 if you have just bought into these selected stocks, about 63 of them. So for the next 10 years, I think it's going to be a good opportunity for us to look back at dividends every strokers. Today, I want to share with you something more exciting because on top of dividends every strokers, there's another group of stocks that is within there and they are called the dividend kings. Dividend kings or dividend champions are stocks that have increased their dividends every year for at least 50 years. They are here for at least half a century. And some of them are 3M. We talk about those pharmaceutical companies is there. And today, I'm going to talk about one forgotten stocks. I feel that a lot of people have not been talking about these stocks for long. And there's a reason because they are not growing very fast. The stock that I want to talk about is this particular stock that Warren Buffett say it is one of the best stock in the world. It is the best stock to be owned for decades. It is simply the best business in the world, in his opinion. So we are going to talk about two powerhouse, Coca-Cola versus PepsiCo. And some of you are saying, hey, this is boring, man. Not going to actually buy into these stocks. But let's look a little bit deeper and see whether you will rethink after this video. Question is this: do you think that Coca-Cola and PepsiCo will still be around for the next 10 years? And do you think they have a chance to grow? For Coca-Cola, they have been giving dividends for the past 62 years at an increasing rate. Can you realize something? The stock price is in correlation to the amount of dividends they give. Okay, now we can see that the dividends they give are going higher and higher, but the stock price did not go up exponentially. That's the reason I think there's a gap. That's my opinion. And for PepsiCo, they have been giving, or PepsiCo, okay, PepsiCo company, is it PepsiCo Limited? They have been giving for 52 years. Similarly, you can see the stock price going. Here, there's some extraordinary dividends, so don't really bother about this jump. But you can see it's growing up, okay, steadily. Now, the thing is this, I got a question for you guys. Who do you think is the market leader? Who do you think is the market leader? If you think it's Coca-Cola type K, if you think it's Pepsi type P. Coca-Cola, PepsiCo. So now, I realize that this is by impression, right? Do you have data? Do you have data that Coca-Cola is the market leader? Now, let's take a look at the key data, okay? So first of all, let's look at their latest report, okay, which is 2022. They have not released 2023 report, coming soon. Can you take a look? For Coca-Cola, they are making $43 billion. Ooh, a lot of people drinking sugar water. And for PepsiCo, do you realize that their revenue is that of double Coca-Cola? Think about it. How much more reach do they have if they have double the revenue? Now, this is something that a lot of people didn't know. Data doesn't like, right? But interestingly, let's zoom in a little bit more. Now, can you see that PepsiCo, their net income is 8 billion, whereas Coca-Cola's net income is 9 billion. Here comes the interesting portion. Coca-Cola is collecting less revenue. They are selling less items. They are getting less money from their customers, but they are retaining higher profits. Now, what does this tell you about a business? So think about that. For PepsiCo, they are collecting 86 billion. At the end, they are having a net income of 8 billion, about 10%, net margin. Whereas Coca-Cola is about 20% net margin. This rings a very big bell. Okay, I wouldn't say alarm bell because both is actually doing well, double digit. Okay, so Coca-Cola does have certain advantage. Now, let's finally look at this, the market cap. Market capitalization is saying that if you want to buy over the whole company, this is how much it costs you right now. Buy over all the single shares. Every share out there multiplied by share price. Coca-Cola is 259 billion. And PepsiCo is a little bit cheaper, 236 billion. So some of us may say, my budget not enough. I only got 236 billion. You can buy PepsiCo instead of Coca-Cola. Okay. Yes, some of you mentioned lower COGS, cost of goods sold, and the way they control the cost is a lot better than PepsiCo for Coca-Cola. So this is one thing to take in mind. Now let's look at their products. Okay. So I'm not sure. If I show the range of products right here for Coca-Cola, anyone surprised that it's under the Coca-Cola brand? Anyone? Okay, so we do know there's Sprite, Fanta, Mini Mate, quite a number of things. One thing that I was pleasantly surprised as I dig further into this particular company is they are going into alcohol. Not that I'm an alcoholic, but I think there's an opportunity there. And they are also big in coffee, which is something I didn't know. It was something that they opened up this particular market in less than 10 years ago. That's the reason I'm saying that they are a little bit forgotten. They are powerhouse with huge distribution network. They can easily like pump their beverage all over the world. And now every time they add a new beverage, it's easy for them to distribute. You must understand something. Distribution is very difficult, especially in certain countries. And they are not only in US. If you look at the countries, you can see they are in UK, they are in China, okay, and all over the world. So the question is this, okay, do they actually have potential to grow? Now, in my opinion, they will grow, but maybe not super fast, like you talk about tech companies or maybe some companies that's double digit. But let's look at the growth plan that they have. When you talk about developed markets and developing and emerging markets, you can see that there's still a big portion that is still not their consumer yet. Okay, when we talk about developed markets, right, we are talking about maybe quite a number of countries in Asia, like Singapore, Malaysia, UK, China, all these are developed markets. Developing and emerging markets, there is a very, I would say, small population that's consuming Coca-Cola's, I would say, beverages, or the red color portion. Can you see that all those transparent color or blue color one, right? It is potential market. So the market is in fact a lot more bigger than I had imagined. It's only when I look at the data, I realize, wow, they can be at least another 5 times bigger. How many of you are shocked by this data? If you are, you can type 5. Okay, data doesn't lie. Of course, I'm not sure whether developing markets, they are a bit more choosy about, maybe I don't want to take Coca-Cola. I just want to take tea or I just want to take water. But even Coca-Cola, they have water, they have tea, they have coffee right now. So there's a lot of opportunity that I didn't know before that. And interestingly, developing and emerging markets, they are growing quite fast and Coca-Cola is entering the market. Okay. Now, let's take a look at PepsiCo. Now, PepsiCo, the reason why their revenue is a lot higher is because they are not only playing in the beverage space, they also have all the convenient food. Okay, so you know what it means. The fattening food, the food that makes you cannot help but eat and then you hate them, correct? Okay, but they do have oats also, so you can eat oats, okay? And let me share with you, if you look at the screen right here, there was something that also shocked me that I didn't notice, but it's something pop out. Do you all see a brand that pop out at you? Anyone? Okay, if you saw a brand that pop out at you, you can type what brand is that. I didn't know it was under PepsiCo. Okay, Lipton. Okay, great. Okay, so you say Lipton. For me, it was Starbucks. I said, huh? Starbucks is under PepsiCo. When I read further into it, it is not the Starbucks restaurant. It is a Starbucks Frappuccino. Those that they distribute in those supermarkets. Okay, so I realized that, and it's something that's growing. So this one has been boosting their income quite a bit. So interesting. Okay, interesting portion. SBUX is the stock. Okay, indeed, you guys are investors. Okay, so now coming back to the profit margin, we realize that beverage, right, and also the effective use of, let's say, their distribution center, their call center, Coca-Cola is definitely a lot better, okay, hovering around more than 20% since 2019. You can see initially they were like competing with each other somewhere near, but wow, Coca-Cola become more and more efficient. Pepsi-Cola hovering still at around 10%, which is frankly not too bad. But Coca-Cola, interestingly, you can see every time they sell $10 worth of item, they are keeping $2. Whereas for Pepsi-Cola, they have to sell $20 to keep $2. So when you compare Coca-Cola to Pepsi, I'll say Apple, okay, people will get confused. Where did Apple come along? Okay, Apple as in, it's an English saying. Okay, when you compare apples to apples, okay, Coca-Cola is a lot more efficient. All right, so I want to show you guys the dividends increase over the year. Both they increase steadily. Interestingly, Pepsi-Cola increased a lot more, okay? 7%, 13%, 6%. Coca-Cola, 5%, 2%. They are controlling it. And this also drove the stock price. Later, I'll show you guys the stock price. Okay, in fact, right now, okay, on TradingView. Now, interestingly, Coca-Cola, no matter how powerful they are growing super slowly in terms of stock price. If you bought the stocks, let's say 10 years ago, $40, goes up to maybe near $50, $60, right? It isn't a lot. It's about maybe 20% to 30% growth. But if you divide by 10 years, you are making about 3% or 2% every single year. That's terrible. That's actually quite slow. So why should we even bother about looking at this stock? Later I'll explain a little bit more, okay? Coca-Cola share price now still expensive. Yeah, it's quite slow, right? But later I share with you guys, right? PepsiCo, interestingly, is growing a lot higher. So over the years, it went up by 60 to 70 over percent. If you bought 10 years ago, it is about less than 100. Now it's 170. And I realized that it's because PepsiCo is increasing their dividends at a higher rate. So now, as of now, before I tell you guys a strategy, and you guys are next level try, right? What do you think we should do? What can we do with these two stocks? But no matter what, if you look through history, you have to, okay, don't know whether you agree with me, they are extremely stable. Their products and services have become a staple in a lot of people's life. Okay, I just drank a bottle of Coke, and I think I ate some chips also. So I've been contributing to their revenue. So what can we do? Okay, I think some of you guys are, okay, great. Some of you mentioned X plus, okay, great. So I think you realize that when a stock is stable, there are many things you can do. So let me just go to the gist of it. So for these two stocks, right? Okay, but before that, which one do you think is better? Is it Pepsi better or Coca-Cola better? In fact, I realized that both of them are not too bad. Okay, Pepsi has a lot more range. Stock price goes higher. Coca-Cola has a bigger margin and they have a increasing product range these few years. Okay, in my opinion, later we will go to the Telegram group and vote for it. Okay, let me just put it right now. Okay, this is the fun part. I love to hear people's vote. Okay, not really here. I like to see people's vote. Let's have a vote right now, and then let's see what you guys say. Which stock is better? Okay, you may not want to invest in them, but let's talk about it. Coke or Pepsi? Okay, that's great. Then we can go to the Telegram group and we can vote for it. Okay, by the way, voting doesn't mean that you should invest in it. So do your own due diligence. Now, interestingly, a very simple method, guys, super simple method is just to sell a put. Because they are so stable, even if you get the stock price, you get a stock. So selling put, in case you guys are still very new, it means we agree to buy the stock at a certain price. Right now, if we go to IBKR, which is an interactive broker, Pepsi got, interestingly, Pepsi got whether there's more liquidity. Let's take a look. So let me just zoom in and explain a few things. And what's the time now? Okay, great. Give me a while. All right. So you can see, interestingly, the IV percentile is pretty high for Coca-Cola as well. So right now, the stock price is 59.82. We can go for a 30 days put. Let me explain why 30 days. You can go for weekly puts, but I think weekly, the liquidity is not so much, or rather, the premium is not so high. So if we go for a 30 days put and we sell a 59 put, it means that the stock price now is 59.82. You are telling the market within the next 30 days from now until 1st of March, if the stock price drops below 59, I will buy it from you. Now, in case you buy at 59, don't worry, you can sell a call later, okay? How many of you can understand what I'm talking about? If you can understand, help me type Y for yes. If you are not sure, type a question mark. Okay, I think I still owe you guys one more valuation workshop, right? Okay, most of you can understand. So you can see, if we sell a 59 put, the options premium we can get is $56. Now, 56, and the amount that we need is 59,000 or 5,900. 5,900. I'm talking like an American now. Okay, that's more than 1%. It should be 1.1%. Can you see that? It's about 1.1%. 1.1% a month, that's very slow. But think about it, it is Coca-Cola. It is not any other like weird stocks. It's a stock that we can safely believe that you'll be here for the next 5, 10, 20 years. Do you guys agree? If you agree, you can type A. If you don't agree, it's okay. I'm totally, if you guys don't agree, I want you to independent thinking. But imagine if you can make about 1.1% per year, if you can make 1.1% per month, 12 months later, it is safely about 12 to 13%. Does it make sense? And you're going for quite a safe bet. So that's how you can use leverage on Coca-Cola. Got it? Does it make sense? Okay. And if let's say you want to do a spread, you can do that as well. Okay, for those who understand spread, you can go even further. And this is very safe stock, very boring stocks. People who don't like boring stocks is because they don't know sophisticated or advanced method to do that. Okay, so we can easily make maybe 12, 13% using Coca-Cola. Sean, that's very boring. I can make 13% in 2 days. Good job. I think it's portfolio allocation. Okay, does it make sense? Now, oops, okay, where is my, oops, this is Coca-Cola, right? Now, if we talk about PepsiCo, PEP, 30 days, right? Okay, the stock price is a bit higher, so the capital needs to be higher, right? The stock price now is 169, and you can see that right now your only choice is 165. 165, your premium is 1.96. So you can get $196 on 16,500. Okay, capital a lot higher. Do have that in consideration also. So this is the downside of using PepsiCo selling of the put. But again, if you go and measure, it should be also about 1.1. The difference is this, in the event you are actually asked to buy PepsiCo stock, it is a lot lower than the market price, about $4 lower than the market price. So there's an advantage there. The disadvantage, higher capital, in terms of premium, similar in terms of percentage, but the advantage is if you buy the stock, it is lower than market price. Does it make sense, guys? Okay. Would you prefer to use spread or call? Okay, I can hear what you're saying. Now, in fact, for PepsiCo, you can actually consider using spread because the stock price is very stable. Can you see that? It's so stable, it's so boring. Okay, unless, I don't know, maybe for a few months, people don't drink Coca-Cola or PepsiCo, I think it is quite safe to use a spread. But remember, now, in case you guys still didn't know, if you're going to use a spread, it is taking a short-term bet. It is not really a long-term investment. If you sell push, it is similar to long-term investment because you are ready to collect the stocks. So if you're using a spread, make sure you calculate your worst-case scenario. You need to diversify. No matter how confident you are, no matter how beautiful the indicators are, you can never risk every single thing. Maybe some of you guys have bought Meta together with me about 2 years ago. Probably it's been making you about 100 to 200%. All right. So right now we talk about another stock. In fact, we talk about Coca-Cola, Pepsi. Going to be slow stocks, but it will actually help you grow 12%, 13%. Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola is not dead. It is not something that will fly very high, but it's suitable for those who don't like heart attacks. So if you like slow and steady, you don't mind. So now, finally, I do hope that you guys have benefited, and let's build wealth, give wealth, and let's celebrate together. All right, we'll see you guys. Bye-bye.